Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to create a Python script to analyze and check for broken links in all the websites, in all the web links in a web page or in all the web pages or websites. In this tutorial, all right. So you can the scripts I'm going to be we are going to be writing in this tutorial is going to be able to do something like this. Broken links, then https spacex.com. Okay, so it's going to be able to do something like this. So it's going to be checking for all the links in all this web page, and it's going to be analyzing them, and anyone that returns 404 or whatever is going to analyze it, whether it returns 200, 300, 400 or 500 or greater than 600. If it returns anything like that, then it's going to analyze it. As you can see, for example, this returns 999. So it means it is not permitted. It is a type of code that is returned by LinkedIn. Okay. So I think this should be all. And it's also going to generate a log file in this directory. It's going to generate a log file in this directory. You see that it just generated the log file now. As you can see, these are all the stuff. And if we should check this, it's just the same thing as this. Okay, so this is what we are going to be doing in this tutorial. All right, and also we'll be using request and beautiful soup. And this tutorial is just like the tutorial of this my Python script that is on my GitHub. I'm going to provide the link to this script under the description of this tutorial. So this is the script that is doing all these things. And also we can also check for we can also use XML sitemap. Okay, like okay, it's just the same thing. Then I just will say with sitemap. Oh, sorry. I'm coming. Okay, so this is the link to the SpaceX XML sitemap. Okay, all right. So to do a full analysis of the whole website, you can use the sitemap, and also the script also will be able to do that also. So if I should just run it, and it's going to create a folder here for SpaceX. As you can see, that has been created, and this is the folder that is going to be writing is going to be saving all the old analysis of all the old web pages on SpaceX website, and it is going to also provide a file that will contain all the old analysis of all the web pages. So as you can see, that's created the web links now. And this, if I open the deep scan again, I can see it's now containing the analysis of the first web page. So this is the I think this is the first web page. So it's just the same thing. Oops, I forgot to log in my system. Okay, so that is that. So you can also stop the execution of the stuff. I can stop the execution. I handled keyboard it out. Okay, so this is the full script here. I'm going to provide the link to the to this script under the description of this tutorial, and I'm also going to be explaining the basics of this script, everything you need to know about how this script work. Then I'm also going to be explaining the script also, how the script works, everything, how everything works in this tutorial. Okay, if you haven't, before we continue, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. All right. I will be explaining everything, how it works, how I handle the URL, how I got the URL, how I use Beautiful Soup request, and how I got the URL from the command line, how I got the URL from the command line, from stuff, things like that. I'm going to be explaining them. Okay, now let's go to the full tutorial now. Okay, guys, so we are going to be using two dependency to achieve what we want to do. We are going to be using requests and also Beautiful Soup. So Beautiful Soup is a library that makes it easier for web scraping with Python, and it can pass HTML or XML, and I'm going to be showing you how to pass HTML and XML in this tutorial also. And this is how to quickly start with it. Okay, let's talk about request. Request is also used for web scraping and is the one that we are going to use to get the whatever URL that we are going to be using in this tutorial. Requests is what we are going to be using to do it. Then after, you use it to download the web page. Then after downloading the web page, we are going to pass it to Beautiful Soup. Then Beautiful Soup is going to pass and analyze the web page that we downloaded, and we are going to be using SpaceX, the SpaceX websites, in this tutorial. All right. Now, the next thing is for us to create a Python. This is the project directory, and it is empty as of now. Okay, let me show you the project directory. This is the project directory, and I'm also going to be showing you how to pass how to use sitemap of your website to scan the whole website, to do a full scan of the whole website. Okay, so for now the directory is currently empty. All right, and let's create the Python file. Let's on Windows, you use Notepad to create a file through the command line. Use Notepad. The name of the file, broken links checker. Okay, let me just do this. Broken links checker. Okay, then it's going to ask if I'm going to create it. Yes. All right. I'm not going to be using Notepad. Don't worry, I'm not going to be using Notepad. Okay, let me just do this a bit. All right, let's go to VS Code. Oops, I forgot to pass in. Okay, let me just change the extension. .py. Then we can now open it. Okay, if you want to, you need to install requests. You need to install it. You need to install request and Beautiful Soup if you don't have it installed yet on your PC. Currently, the current version now, while I'm doing this video, is 4.11.1, and the version of request is also, and it should also work with any version that you currently have. Okay, now first of all, let's import the dependencies we are going to be using. Is let's just import them. Let's import requests. Also requests because we are going to be using regex also os and sys also, just to get the command line argument. Okay, then we need to import from PS4 import. What are we going to be importing? Import beautiful soup. All right, now without wasting much of our time, let's get to work and let's just print something hello, just to know if this is currently working. Okay, I'm going to all right, now let's check if the file has been created. Okay, now it has been created and is now in the directory. Let me just cls. All right, now let's call the file python, then broken. I'm lazy, let me just use regular expression dot py. Okay, it can work with regular expression. Broken links python broken links checker.py. Okay, so we should get hello now. It's now working. Now the next thing for us to do is, first of all, so that we won't be typing python in front of the file every time we are trying to call the file. So we can just use, we're going to use the shebang, then tell it that use python 3 to run the rest of this script. All right, so we can just call it like that. Let's try to remove the python front of it. You see that it's going to work. Okay, all right, it's now working. Okay, first thing is we need to get the command line argument. Let me just call it cmd args equal to sys.argv. Okay, let me just sys.argv. Then we can now log. Let's just log it. cmd argument. Okay, now let's call it again. All right, so cmd arg, then this is what was this is the only thing. If we only call this file, this is the only thing that is going to be in the system.argv. But let's try to pass some parameters to it. Let's say how space do, then let's do this you do. Let's do this again. All right, you see that it will get everything into, it will get them it will get each of the commands separated by space. It will get them into an array. So to get them into an array, so we can now access everything in the array. So we are now going to be doing something like, we'll now be passing the URL of the website that we want to check, like this. So do something like this. So as you can see, it has now gotten the stuff. Now we can now proceed. Okay. All right. The next thing to do is, now to let's use request um to get the page. I'm going to say that rec equals to requests request dot get, then the URL of the page. This is, so the URL, we are expecting the URL of the page to be this the arguments at the index of 1. Okay, now after checking that, then we can do rec dot raise for status, so that it's going to tell us if any error occur, then it's going to raise an exception, and if no error occur, then let's just print rec dot. So you can print anything, maybe cookie, the headers, the eta content. This is used for downloading some things like blob. Maybe you try to download a blob through a URL. Dot text. This is going to contain the web page, the text of the web page. Okay, so let's just print out the dot text. Okay, and let's do it now. Okay, let's just add some things. Let's say print requesting URL. What's the URL? This is the URL. Requesting. Okay, let me just use so that I'm going to write requesting this. Then let's print done, so that we're going to know that. And let me just clear the screen now. Oops. Let me stop it. Okay. All right. Now we can get it. Now, as you can see, this is the content of the page. Now it printed out requesting the URL, then done. Then we got the URL of the page. Now, without wasting much of our time, next thing to do is let's pass the URL of the page that we've gotten now. Let's pass it to beautiful soup. I'm going to say soup equal to beautiful soup. Then the text. Now we can now pass and get all the links in the page. So there are a lot of things you can do with beautiful soup. And you can see a lot of stuff. Okay, let's just go back to the stuff, the beautiful soup stuff. Okay, soup.beautify. Now soup dot find all. We can just find all. Then we pass in what do we want to pass. What do we want to get? A find all. Okay, let's just, for brevity, don't let us print out this one anymore. Okay, so that it won't take all the space of the command line. Okay, now it has gotten it. As you can see, it is an array. It's an array. This closing bracket, this closing square bracket shows that it got all the links and put them into an array. Now we can now pass all the links. And now this is the link. Now you can now use for loop to loop through the link for link in. Now we can now loop through it. Don't let us print this out anymore. And let us say then you can now say print link dots get. Then we can now get the href of the link. Now we forgot something here. Let's pass in html dot parser. Okay, let's put it inside stuff now. Okay, link dot get href. So this is going to get the href of each of the links that we got from the page. Now let's print it out. Now let's clear the screen again. Now alright, so these are all the links in the page, on the SpaceX homepage. These are all the links. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to pass all these links, because SpaceX is using a framework. I think SpaceX is using React.js. SpaceX is using React.js. I think they are using React.js. Yes, they are using React.js. So that's the reason why the links looks like this. That's why they look like this. And to analyze these links, we need to check if the link starts with this. Then we should just append it to HTTPS, something like HTTPS spacec.com/vehicle/5.9, something like that. Okay. Alright. Now what we need to do is we need to first of all remove trading slash from this URL that we got here. So we need to remove this trading slash from it. So I just copied it from the script that I wrote before for this broken links checker. Let's say, okay, let's do it like remove slash. So I'm just going to go on and copy it from the script that I wrote before on this same on the broken list checker that I wrote before. Okay, so this is the script now. Alright, remove trailing slash. Remove trailing slash. Remove trailing slash. URL. So this is the URL. Okay, let's just create a variable for the URL equal to this. Okay, so this is the, so what this will do is just going to remove the trailing slash, this trailing slash in front of it, this trailing slash. That's what is going to remove. That's what the stuff is going to remove. So now, now we've removed the trailing slash from the URL. So we are not going to use it here. Now another thing we need to do is we need to remove. Okay, let me just try to get the stuff again. So we need to understand these links. We need to understand them and remove this first. I will check if the link contains a forward slash, and if it does not, or if it starts with HTTPS or HTTP, or if it starts with a domain name, so we are going to append it. If it starts with a forward slash, then we append it to the domain name. It means the link belongs to the website. And if it is an HTTPS, if it starts with HTTPS, then we just write it directly. So I'm just going to go on and copy that same code from the scripts that I wrote before. Okay, so I've copied it. So I'm just going to now this saying remove trailing slash, remove trailing slash. I'm going to explain what this stuff does now. Okay, so this is checking if it has a trailing slash. So if it has a trailing slash, okay, it's using regular expression to check if it has a trailing, to check for trailing slash, and replace the trailing slash with nothing. Then again, on the second line, is going to assign HTTP / to the to this to this URL if it does not start with HTTPS or HTTP. Now, if it starts with HTTP, it's just going to leave it like that. Okay. Okay, I think I should do this instead of passing the URL. Do that instead. Okay. Then now this one, what this is saying is that, okay, let's get the domain name from the URL. Let's get domain name from the URL. Domain name equal to, wait, okay, let me just go on and copy it from this. Okay, so I've copied it from the script. I've copied it from the script. Alright, so the domain name, this is the domain name. Oops, I copied the wrong thing from the script. This is it. This is what I'm supposed to copy. Alright, this one is using regular expression to check for the domain name. In this, okay, it's supposed to come after this. It's using regular expression to check for the domain name from the remove trailing slash. Now, after that, then it's going to it's going to put a trailing slash in front of the domain name if it does not end with this. Else it will just return the domain name if it ends with it. Okay. Okay, all right. So the next thing is we need to remove trailing slash from these links again. Okay, I just need to remove this stuff here. The trailing slash. Let me just remove the trailing slash from it. Okay, I think I can just comment it out. Okay, all right. Then now, if the link starts with this, if the link starts with this, else, now URL to check. The URL is going to be okay. Let's just say URL to check link.get href, then this instead. If okay, we can assign a variable to it. I just call it gotten URL or to link.get href. Okay, and this also from link so what this is trying to do is assign domain name / the link if the URL that we got starts with / and else assign this to it. Use remove trailing slash, assign it to remove trailing slash. The URL that we pass in, then the URL that we pass in, and then check for another thing. Okay, else this if link gotten URL dot starts with, if it starts with / I think this is doing the same thing with this. Okay, let's just go on. Or link dot start with / or http in link, or http in link else gotten URL. Use domain name plus the URL if gotten URL starts with this. Else use trailing slash, prepend trailing slash to the gotten URL if the gotten URL starts with this or this. Okay, now let's just try to check it if I'm not trying to do nonsense here. If I'm not doing nonsense, let's say print URL to check. And let's clear this screen. If there is no error. Okay, now what we did was, now this is what we did. This is what we did. So it's going to check if the link starts with a /. If it starts with a /, then append it to the domain name. If it doesn't, okay, let's just try to check for SpaceX this URL. Let's check this URL first. Let's check that URL. Let's check the URL and let's see what we are going to get. Okay. Okay, we are still getting something like this, like / something like this. Okay. If I want to be doing all these checks, I might use up to like 30 minutes just to do all this check, but I will because I've already written this script before and it's already in my GitHub repo. This is on my PC and I've launched it to my GitHub repo. So it's on my GitHub repository now. I'll provide the link to this GitHub repository under the description of this tutorial. So you see the full stuff. So I did all the checks here. I did all the checks, all the stuff, all the error handling, all the error catching and handling, all the stuff. So I did everything here. So this video is just the introduction of this script. Introduction to this script. So you can just, as you can see that I created a function, this and all this. Even if you go to the home page of the stuff, I wrote how to run the stuff, how to run the scripts. Everything is here. So I'm going to provide a link to this GitHub repository after under the description of this tutorial. So you don't need to worry about this stuff now. This two stuff that are here. So I'll still explain this later. I'm still going to explain this script later. Just in a moment. I will explain it just in a moment. Okay. Now let's use let's clear this one. And let's use this. I'm going to be using this now. Okay. So we are going to be using this now. I'm going to be using this. Alright, so okay, let's go back to the script that we are writing. Okay, now the next thing to do is now we are going to use, okay, let's just say request to check for. Now we are now going to check for the status of this URL with request dot get URL to check. Now rec2 dot raise for status. I'm waiting. Okay, raise for status. Now if error occur, is going to raise the status. Now we can now print the status rec2 dot like the status of the stuff. The status code. Let's print the status code. Let's print the status code. Okay. Let's print the status code. Let's clear the screen again. And I'm going to print out the status code of all the links. 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. So it's looking through each of the URLs on the page. It's looking through each of them and checking the status. Now, if the status is not true, if the status is not 200, it will print it out. if status is not on, then it will print it out. Okay. Now that we've gotten the code, I think you've gotten the concept of what I'm trying to do now. What is this? You just ignore this. This is not part of this. Okay. Now the scripts, this script that is here, the script that I've already written on my PC, the broken links checker that is currently on my PC now. If I'm going to run it, just for you to see the full application, application of the broken list checker, the full feature of the broken list checker. Okay, let's say this is how I run it. I just call say the broken links, then the name of the URL. So you see the full functionality of the broken links checker now. So the URL to the GitHub repository of the full script of the broken links checker, I'm going to provide it under the description of this tutorial. Okay, because of time, let me just stop it. Let me just stop it there. Yes. Now we can check the one we checked before that gave us okay, let's try to check this URL. Let's try to check that URL. Okay. So it's going to, as you can see, returns 200, returns 200, returns 200, link okay. So this stuff is going to generate, as you can see, this is a status code saying 999, link not permitted for standby host. The 999 links is LinkedIn status code. Is a status code returned by LinkedIn that like when a script like this try to access any page on LinkedIn, to return status code 999. Okay, there's a bug in the stuff. Okay. Okay, all right. So the next thing is, let me just try to fix the general file stuff issue. General file on line, which line? Line 30. Working links 185. Line 185. Okay. Okay, it was not initialized at the top here because yes, it was not initialized. So I was just going to check if general file, then general file plus. Okay. Now the next thing is, let's try to use XML sitemap. So this is the SpaceX sitemap that we are going to be using. So I can just provide the stuff. Now let's see how we can do the XML sitemap with the XML sitemap. First of all, we are going to pass the XML. We will analyze the parsing that I'm talking about is this. Let me increase the font of this VS Code a bit. Okay, so this is the parsing that I'm talking about. Parsing, spelled like that. So if XML okay, we can just put everything like this inside the function. We can create a function like def1, then URL, then we put everything, inside the function, then put everything under this function. Okay, so then this URL, we can now check if with sitemap in cmd args so we can let's put that one to inside this under this function. Let's put it under the function. If the sitemap is there, then print sitemap, else just for now print no sitemap. Okay, so the reason of this thing is just that it's going to check for this flag in the command line argument inside the command line argument. Now if this argument is there, then it means that the user wants to use sitemap. Now let's call this stuff again. Let me look for open this checker with sitemap. Let's check it. Okay, sitemap. Now let's do it without, let's call it without the sitemap flag. No sitemap. All right. So we will now provide, the next thing is for us to remove this flag from the URL. We say that okay, let's call it anything. Removed flag. Remove flag. So we say that cmd flag or cmd args, because the cmd args is an array dot remove sitemap. Remove this. So this is not in the URL. This is going to be removed from there. Now the next thing for us to do is we now get the the URL to the sitemap URL. Sitemap to the URL. That's going to be remove flag. Then it's going to be the second. It's going to be the second argument. So we can actually print it out. We can actually print out no flag. Okay, let me copy it again. The book links with sitemap. This, then SpaceX sitemap.xml. Okay. None is not subscriptable. Oops. Okay. All right. it means the remove stuff is going to return a null type. So alright, I can see the sitemap, this with sitemap is not in the argument array anymore. Now we can now pass it. Now first of all, we are just going to open it with open sitemap URL. Sitemap URL. We are going to read it as sitemap. Then you can print sn dot read lines. We are going to read all the whole lines at once. Read lines. Now we can now print out the stuff now. Okay. CLS. Let's clear the screen again. Alright. Okay, I can see these are all the old stuff that was returned from the sitemap. Okay, if we should try to open the sitemap now. Why is it taking so long? Open with what's bad. Okay, as you can see, these are all the this is the content of the sitemap, and is equivalent to this also. Now, what is the next thing for us to do? Let's pass it to beautiful soup. Is there any soup variable here? No soup variable. Okay, soup equal to beautiful soup. Then sma.readlines. So we can't pass in an array. So I'm just going to convert it into a text by saying this dot join then features equal to XML. So it's going to pass the XML now. Now we can now print all the. Now one thing that we need to get from it is the look tag. The look tag is the tag that contains the look tag is the tag LOC tag is the tag that contains the URL of all the pages. And we can now say soup dot find all. Look. Now let's print that out out. Let's comment this out. CLS. Let's clean the screen. As you can see, it has gotten all the old look tag in the sitemap. Okay, now we can now look through it with for loop. And we're not going to say for looks in look just singular. Okay, then we can now say print look dot get, or am I still on point? Yeah. Okay, wait, let me quickly copy. Okay, it's not get, it's link log.text, because we are getting the inner text of the loop tag. If we are trying to get a like an attribute, like an HTML attribute, then we can use .get. Okay, now let's print this out and let's comment this. Say this. Now let's do that. Okay, I can see it has gotten all the whole links. Now these are not just link of one page. These are all the old links of the whole website. This is the links of the whole website. This is the links of the whole in the website. These links in the whole website. Now, next thing to do is we're now going to call run. We'll call the run function. Okay, we can just print analyzing URL. They will call run. Run is not defined. Okay, let's just take all this. Let's take all of them and I think there's something you can do. Can we use? Okay, let's go on. Run, then pass in this loop.text. Pass in the loop.text. Then it's now going to do the same thing. All right. Now, what? No connection adapter found for our formats. SpaceX. Okay, let's check something. What happened? Analyzing SpaceX.com. 62. Invite schema. Okay. Okay. URL. Quest.get. Okay. You forgot this URL. Now this URL is the URL. Request.get URL. Okay, let's clear the screen again. Do the same thing. Okay, as you can see, it's now going to be analyzing each of the pages one after the other. Let's just wait for it to finish this SpaceX, this first page, that first page. Let's wait for it. I'm just going to pause the video now. Okay, it has, as you can see, it's done. Okay, an error code. This kind of error, I handled all of them in the script that I wrote. I handled all of them. So instead of it just quitting, instead of it stopping the execution of the script, it will just throw the error, or it will remove this and replace it with just a single /. Okay, say that after the first URL, it went on and tried to analyze the second URL, and which raised a status here, So I handled everything in the. Let me just copy this and try to run it with the stuff that I wrote, with the scripts, that I wrote. With this script, I'm not going to run it. Okay, I think I'll run for. Okay. All right. As you can see, this is also doing the same thing. But let me just try to pause it so that I won't waste much of our time. After it has finished doing the first page, I will resume it back. You see that it also went on and it also generated a log file. It generated a log file. It analyzed all the links and these slow loading links, denied links, broken links, okay links, all links, no broken links, links access denied by host, then okay links, all the links that are okay. Then it generated an analytics log file. Then after this, it went on with the next URL. Then it went on with the next URL. Then and so on. So this is the stuff. So if I should leave it like this, yes. If I should leave it on like this, it's going to analyze all the O links in the sitemap. So if I should be writing everything, if I should be explaining how I wrote everything like this in this tutorial, I'm going to use like up to like 2 to 3 hours, and this video is already getting very longer. So the full code and the full link to this stuff, to this script on GitHub is going to be available under the description of this tutorial. So let me just quickly do a run through of this stuff. Now I created a stuff, a main function to run the script. Then under it here, I created a main function. I created a main function like this one here. So it's just doing the same thing as this stuff here. So that's just the same thing that it's doing. Okay, so it will try to check if with sitemap is in the parameter of the sys.argv. So if it is in it, then it will start. Then it will start to analyze it. Just what we did just now. Just same thing that we did just now. It will try to analyze it, try to do everything. Then it will open the sitemap, pass it with beautiful soup, get all the log file that are there, and call your own function also. So it's going to check if the XML file is actually an XML file, and if it is a link with the XML that if it is a link, or if it is an XML. So it will check, then it will use Beautiful Soap to pass it, then it will go on and call. Then after everything, then it will call the run function here. It will call the run function, which is at the top here. And as you can see, I handled all the exceptions, the keyboard interrupts, in case the user want to stop the execution of the script. Then you are going to call if you press Ctrl C, it's going to stop the execution of the script. So back to the run function here. So it's going to change to the current working directory, then the log file name. This is the log file. This is the log folder for it that is going to create. It's going to create something like this. That's going to be saving the log files. So then it's going to remove trailing slash like I showed you just now, and then other stuffs. Then it's going to check if the sitemap. If we are using sitemap, then it's going to the reason for this is just to create a specific folder. It's going to create a special folder with the name of the domain name. Then it is in that folder that is going to be saving all the analytics logs of the domain name of that website. So that's the purpose of this. So report logs, everything. Okay. Then now it's now going to check. This is where all the old checks is going to happen. It's going to check if the web page you are trying to check returns 404. If it does not exist, then it will just stop the execution of the code. If it returns any code greater than maybe 600, then it's just going to return that it is denied. It's going to mark it as a denied link, and it's going to stop the execution from there. But if not, it's going to go on and pass the content of the page. Then it's going to find all the a tag, anchor tag there. Then it's going to go on denied links, remove. Then it's going to remove duplicate links, because there are links that has like duplicate links that has a link at the top of the page, at the middle of the page, at the bottom of the page. So a link like that is not going to is going to remove the duplicate link, and the remove duplicate link is at the bottom here. Is here. This is just a simple kind of code that you can quickly understand. There's nothing hard. There's nothing complicated there in the remove duplicate link. Then it's going to loop through all the links gotten in the page, just like what we did here. Just like what we did in this one. That's just the same thing that is going to do. Everything. Then the only special thing here is then I handled all the errors like 500, 400, status code 400, status code 600, 200, 300, and all the stuff. Then I handled exception too. Then this code is just the code for like for writing inside the file, for writing the analytics logs inside a file and saving it. These are all the stuff. there's nothing complicated. There's nothing actually complicated there, actually. So if you just try to look into it, it's just general file dot write. Then this one, the os.get coin working directly, os, then the log directory, the log directory. So the log directory, then it's going to just this one might want to confuse you. But this stuff is just, I created something like this. I'm going to create um a a text file with with the title of the page. Then it's now going to remove any special characters in the title of the page. That's just what this one is doing. Okay, we've come to the end of the tutorial. I hope you get the scope of this tutorial. If you have any question, if this is still not very clear to you, you can just ask the question under just go to the comment section and ask the question. If you like this tutorial, please give it a thumb up. If you don't like it for any reason, just leave comments under the comment section. I'm going to read it, and I will surely apply it. And if you okay, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also for contribution, you can also contribute. It's open for contribution also, as I have written under it here. It's open for contribution. Just fork it to your repository and create a pull request. And clone it. Then when you are done with the updates, then create a pull request. Then with the description of what you did, then I'm going to apply the changes to this. So I'm still going to be updating this script. Actually, I'll keep updating it. So as of this tutorial, it is still version 1.0.0. so I will keep updating it so that it's going to be better. So this is the I'll provide the link to this GitHub repository inside the description of this tutorial. Alright, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more cool tutorials like this. Alright, thank you for watching. Subscribe. Bye. See you in the next tutorial.